Hello gorgeous people who love the scraps, far from Australia. Sorry it's been a while since I have given you guys a sneak peek of this beautiful romantic shabby chic tattered vase style altered hat box, and it's made to match my beautiful box that you guys have seen a while ago, a couple of weeks ago actually now. And just been really busy and actually really tired today, so I might sound a bit funny on the camera, or I'm just not there. I've been working on the farm all day yesterday, so I had a little bit of a time to just clean up today, so I thought I might record in the meantime. It's a really nice large size hat box that I picked up at the charity store. I would have shared it in one of my thrift haul vids a long time ago, thrifting like goodies that I picked up. The base was painted cream, and then somebody has, whoever had this box originally had like a really good crackle attempt on top, but the base was all like a navy blue color with the cream second layer on top, and I didn't really like the navy blue underneath it, so I wanted to cover it and do it up in vase style. So voila, this is what I've come up with. Like I mentioned, it's a really nice super size. It's nice and big, as you guys can see in my hand there, and it has a lot of depth to the box also, so I can put a lot of my favorite laces and treasures in there. We'll start off with the top of the lid here. To cover the box, I used calico fabric. I always use calico fabric as my base. Before I adhere this particular bridal applique here, I cut a strip of calico the same size as the width of the lid just on the edge here, and just hot glued that on with my glue gun to hide this particular part, because they crackled it and you can still see some on the navy, so I wanted to cover it completely because I want this box to be cream and flesh color to match my scrappy room. So I've adhered the first layer of calico first, and then on top of the whole box here, to cover the top of the lid as the base, I used the same calico fabric. I used the lid to trace out a circle first, and then I cut around it and then had glued that onto the box before I have gone ahead and embellished this afterwards. So just use the lid to trace it, and then just cut around it and measure perfectly to the shape of your lid. So from there, to achieve this look on the cushion here, I've made, not cushion, on this lid here, I've made something that's very similar to a cushion insert that's nice and round. So I measured the lid. I used 2 pieces of calico. I measured the lid, and then I stitched about 1 centimeter around the circle, and then I turned it inside out. I stuffed it a little bit, and then I had adhere this particular image on, and then I had sewn it with my sewing machine, and then I stuffed it afterwards, so it gives it this really puffy look, as you guys can see here, because it's all cushioned underneath here because it's been stuffed with wadding. And then once I've made my sort of like little cushion insert, because I wanted to make it dimensional, as you guys can see here, really 3D dimensional look. So after I made my cushion insert, I had ruffled this beautiful curtaining lace or curtaining tool that you can find in the upholstery section. It's used for window curtaining, so I like it because it's got texture on it, and it's got these raised little kind of like dots on there, and it's really beautiful. So I cut a square panel. I just measured it to the picture and to the end here, because you're going to flip it under. So you measured about the same width, just give it about a couple of centimeters off the box so you can hide it underneath the edge underneath here. But I only gather one side of the strip of fabric on my sewing machine, so I only gathered this side of it, and then I had adhere it around the picture frame, as you guys can see here. I had adhere it around here, and then it sort of like gave it a really fluffy sort of look. And then once I have adhered that down, I've gone to just tuck it underneath the cushion. See the cushion inserts in here, as you guys can see there. I have just gone ahead and tucked it underneath the cushion insert, and make sure that I left a bit of room so that it gives it this sort of puffy look, as you guys can see here. You can pull it really taut, but then you won't see the puffy look. You have a really nice flat look like that, but I want it to look really dimensional and really fluffy, as you guys can see there. I tucked it in, and then I pushed it away again to give it some raised areas, and then I had hot glue that all the way around the box there. I hope it's not too confusing for you guys. So Eventually, when I do retire and settle down, I will be able to do more tutorials and share with you guys, you know, each and every individual step of how I went to alter something, you know. I just don't have a lot of time, that's why I don't do a lot of, like many tutorials at all. Once I have gathered that and hot glue that down, as well as the outer edge, tuck that all the way in, I went on to ruffling this beautiful curtaining organza from my stash, and I had hot glued that around this picture also to frame it. I used the same picture again because I wanted to match my altered box that you guys have seen previously also. So once I've done that, I've just went on to embellishing it, very similar to how I went to embellish my beautiful Drop Dead Gorgeous box. The same flowers here, made from the same curtaining lace, and I followed the lady's tutorial. I think it's hectagonal or hexagonal. I think that's her YouTube channel. I can't remember. You guys can look her up. She makes really beautiful dimensional fabric roses and stuff. So I made 2 fuller ones here and 2 rosebuds here and here. Isn't that a beautiful rosebud? They're really gorgeous. And then I went on to making some ribbon roses there, and here, using some flesh colored satin ribbon from my stash, another rose made from this curtaining fabric there, and a rose made from stretch net tulle there, right there. And the other half of my earring went on to here also, and I just dangled some pearl strands along here just to frame the box again, and use some appliques in some random places, tied a beautiful bow here also like I did on the actual box, altered box. On the side of the box here, I have, on the side of the lid here, actually, sorry, I've used some tea dyed applique lace, wedding lace from my stash, and I've just hot glued that around the whole box also. For the base of my box here, again, I have lined it with calico fabric. It was just a cream color, and once I remove the lid, you guys will be able to see the original color that this box was. I line it with calico first, just up until this part here, because if you line the inside of this part here, it would be too thick and the lid would not be able to close properly. So only up until here down is where I have lined it and decorated it. So I have lined it with calico fabric. I've measured this, the width and then the length of the entire box, and then I had hot glued this part up here and hot glued this part down here down, so it goes all the way around first. And then I went on to layering different sort of lace trims from my stash. This is actually a flesh colored lace. I didn't tea dye this or spray with any kind of color. That's the original color that the lace is. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly with this sort of lighting, but that's just how it looks there. It's like a really peachy sort of flesh colored peach color. It's more flesh than peach. I don't like a lot of peach. Peachy pink is nice, but I don't like peach in general. And this is the flesh colored fabric. I think it's a lining fabric. It's not satin, it's just lining. I have pleated that on my sewing machine, and then I've used this beautiful bling trim from my stash that I've shared a haul with you guys on also. It looks very similar to, is it the Valencia trims from Prima that was really popular maybe a year ago? I'm not sure, but it's very similar to that. But I never thought Prima once when I made this. I just made it as I go. So, and below that, I had used this beautiful eyelet trim that I have won off eBay, and this is actually been tea dyed, and it has a lot of distressed looks in some areas there. Let me zoom in so that you guys can see the tea stain. So can you guys see there? See, it's got the tea stain in some random colors there for a distressed, really vintage look. I love the tea stain color on projects. That's what happens when you dry it on the line. It just gives it various light and shade, and some areas are darker, and some areas where the lace collects a lot more of the tea dye as it's dripping down, that will accumulate more darker areas. So that's how you achieve the darker and the lighter tones. So like the lace, when I hang it up, the lace is hanging up like this on the clothesline. So as it dries, it drips downwards like that, and then that's where it gathers a lot of the tea dye there, and that's where it gets darker there. So inside this particular eyelet lace here, I've actually threaded the same what you call it, the same satin lining fabric through here. So I measured the distance between here and here, and I just ripped it, torn it off. That's why you can see some of the frayed edges here. And then I have looped it in and out, in and out, in and out, and that just gives it everything just like blends in. The color's really coordinating, and it's just so beautiful. So that's pretty much the box there. All this is like one piece, and then I had it here, the lace, lace first, or this part first, this lace here, and then I went around with this pleated here. Don't mind my fingers, like I mentioned, farm work takes its toll on you, and I have really yucky fingers at the moment, but you know, I don't mind because it gives me lots of money to spend on my craft addiction. Anyways, let's go and look on the inside of the box. Okay, for the inside of the lid, I've also made it like a cushion, if you know what I mean, like a cushion insert where you will tuck a cushion in. I made it with calico fabric, and then after that I used the same curtaining tool, and then I tucked it in at the back here. I cut a circle, and then I tucked it in, and then I had hot glued the whole thing down. When I was making this particular insert, I made it exactly the same size as the inner lid only, so that when I stitch 1 centimeter in, it gives me room along the edges here. Like it's like one and a half, maybe 1.5 centimeters in, and then I turn it inside out, and then I stuff it. So it gives it a puffy cushioning background here, so that I can tuck, I can put in stick pins, I can put in beautiful brooches and lots and lots of jewelry on here if I like to also, because you see you can hang stuff off here also, so, or little notes and messages and stuff like that. It's like one of those pinboard type things. So after I made my little cushioning insert, and I had measured exactly where I want to put these little diamond shape things made by lace. I hope you know what I mean. I sound really tired and lethargic today, don't I? So I have just kind of like, I don't really measure anything pretty much. I just eyeball it. So let's say, okay, that's my circle. I want the crisscrosses to go that way and this way to form my diamond. So I just go like, that's the center, and then I want it to go across. So I just glue a little bit at the back there, run my ribbon across, glue a little bit at the back there, and then run my ribbon across also, and then just made 2 other ones to make it match coordinately like that. And then I had punched the holes here with my crocodile. These are actually bling brads that I purchased from the local scrapbooking store, and I had punched the holes and then stick the brads in, push it towards the back, and then had stuck them down onto the back of the cushion. So it just made it really puffy like that, as you can see there. Really, really lovely. So that's pretty much it. This is the original color of the box. I didn't paint this or do anything to it because it's going to be covered anyways. You're not going to see it, and I don't mind because it's cream already anyway. So, and inside the box I've just got lots of yummy goodies in here, lots of my beautiful laces and whatnots in there. So that is pretty much my altered hat box, and I hope this vid will inspire you guys to alter a box beautiful like this also for your scrappy room, or for a gift for anybody, or you know, just to store all your beautiful treasures. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I love you all. Bye bye.